And welcome back for the second part of the Bouncy Ball app. In this video tutorial, we're going to add two buttons here, one that's going to increase the speed of the ball and one that's going to decrease the speed of the ball. So it's very simple. You can just drag the button here, and let's just say we can change the text here to, let's say, faster. And if this font is not big enough, we can easily change it in the font size field. Let's say we can have it as 24. And then I'll add one more button. I could just name it slower. So this is just the text property, not the name of the button, slower. And then we'll also change it to size 24. Okay, so now, usually the buttons, by default, they have names button 1, button 2, and so on. I can rename this button. As you can see here, we have the rename. So old name was button 1. Usually in program, we call all the buttons. They have the prefix btn. And then I could just name it btn faster. Just like text fields usually named the txt, buttons are btn, labels are lbl, and so on. So for the button 2, we can rename it as btn slower. That way, when we go to the blocks, we can easily program both of these buttons. So we need to go in the blocks now. We need to add more code. Now, what will happen when we click on the button, right? So here's my btn faster and slower. They both have almost the same event. So when we click on one of those buttons, we'll do something. So as you can see, the top event here, the first one is when the button is clicked. So let's see what do we want to do. When this button is clicked, all I want to do is change the speed of the ball, right? So I have to now click the ball one component and to scroll down to see where is it. Everything you can do with the ball is right here. So as you can see, we have set ball one speed. Right, so I want to set ball one speed too. And what I need to do now is just add something, right? Maybe add 1 or 2 or 3 to the actual speed. So because we're adding, we're going to go to the math drawer. And in the math drawer here, we have, there is a way to actually just click the plus, but I just want to show you here. If you go up, you will see this is the addition block. So I can just bring the plus. So I want to add to the current speed. So first I need to get the current speed. So again, I'm going to go to the ball one component. I need to scroll down. And the ball speed is right here. These are called setters, so you can set something. And these are called getters, so you can get the speed, right? So App Inventor already knows the current speed. So this here is the current speed. So I want to use the current speed and then add maybe 2 or 3 pixels at a time. So I can just click here and start typing number 2. When I press enter, I already have the number 2. And now this just tells me that when I click the btn faster, I'm going to increase the speed by 2. Because the btn slower is almost the same, we just need to do -2 or -1, right? That depends on how fast or how much slower do we want the ball to move. I can just now do right click here on this block of code and then duplicate. Okay, so this is going to duplicate everything here. And now I just want to change, instead of btn faster, I can click here and change it to btn slower. And now I have just setting the ball speed to something we need now -2, not +2. So I can just take this 2 out. I'm going to remove this trash can, and then I can go to the math. And now instead of the plus, we need the minus. We need to subtract. So whatever the speed was at that moment, I need to make it a little bit slower now. Okay, so now the btn faster is programmed, the btn slower is programmed. We can go back to designer and let's see now what will happen. I guess this is already refreshed. So you click faster. I think you can already see how the ball is moving faster. Click on slower. I can slow it down, and eventually, I think I started with let me just see, ball 1 by default speed is now 2. If I click slower, now we need to make it 0 actually, so it stops completely. So there is also another way to use some if statements and not allow it to completely stop, but we can do it some other time. Now with faster again, every time I click, the ball moves faster and faster and so on. So what else can I change, right? This was only changing the ball speed, but as you can see, all those properties that we can see in the designer mode, we can change any properties in here in the blocks mode. So we can change the heading, we can change the interval, we can change the color, radius, speed, visibility, we can make it visible or invisible, and so on and so on. So we need to stop here and we'll continue with another video a little bit later.